Hey, what up, everybody? This is steviebreech coming to you, and this is the year that Undertaker will lose at Wrestlemania. Going into this, the Undertaker is 18-0, which is a great streak at Wrestlemania. When you look at it, he's had two big matches in this whole Wrestlemania streak. He beat Psycho Sid for the title. He beat Edge at the title in the main event. He was able to retire Shawn Michaels. But when you look at it, he had a lot of duds throughout there. So the people out there that say that Undertaker has to retire with this streak intact at 20-0, I just don't see it because there's more money to be made out there by Taker losing the streak than having him just get there. Because right now, with the story coming out about his shoulder, basically he got hurt and he waited too long trying to fix it on his own, like through working out and stuff like that, and not getting surgery. It got to the point where it's broken down and it's not able to be repaired again. So if you get to make him get to 20-0, like you have him beat Triple H and move on to the next WrestleMania next year, he's going to be limping to get there. I mean, he's going to be like the one guy nobody wants to touch because you don't want that shoulder to get hurt again. You don't want to be the one guy that hurts Taker and takes him out of next WrestleMania. I mean, he's barely able to compete at this one. He's been out since the Buried Alive match with Kane, and he's just barely rolling in there on his wheelchair to get there. But I have a lot of respect for the Undertaker. He's one of the guys that I was able to watch from day one when he debuted at the Survivor Series. Stevie reached the young tyke, was able to watch him all the way up to now. The Undertaker, the Dead Man, the biker gimmick, and until today. So I mean, he's one of the few guys that I was able to say that I watched, come from day one as being the young guy, the one guy that in WCW that they didn't want to use, into making him the Undertaker and moving him all the way up into the legend he is today. But when you talk legends, all legends have to have a day where they walk away. And every legend's gonna want to be the guy that has the big storyline finish in order to be there. Nobody wants to be the one guy that just sort of like on the back page gets released, doesn't get anything, and next thing you know, he's working your high school gym in a little indie show. So Undertaker deserves a lot of respect, and I think this is the year that you have to end the streak. I think that Triple H and Taker will have a great match. I think even before they get in the ring, a lot of people know that this is going to be a high quality match. I mean, it's going to be headlining WrestleMania. It's going to be the last match on the card. It's going to be the go home, and I don't think anybody's going to go home unhappy. I know both of these guys are going to give everything they can, and these guys are going to mix well. If you go back and watch their last, their past matches, it's been a while since we've seen one. But these are real good, high quality matches that won't let you down. But basically, I see Triple H beating Taker, and now Taker is going to be able to get so engulfed and enraged that he took his streak. The one thing that when you think of the Undertaker, it's the first thing you always name. You don't name how many times he's been champion. You don't name the feuds he's been. You always say, oh, undefeated at WrestleMania. That's just what you think of. And Triple H, you can say what you want to about him. He's my favorite wrestler. People will think that Triple H booked himself just to take the streak, just so he can be the one guy that says he did it. He doesn't need that. I mean, his career speaks for itself. He's one of the greatest wrestlers that are out there. Not taking anything away from the Undertaker, but I just think that there's money to be made here. Basically, that Triple H is going to be at the top of the game. If he's on Raw, if he's on SmackDown, whatever he does for the next year, you know that he's going to be on top. You know that he's going to be trying to get those title reigns up. They're probably going to build a storyline where he's getting close to the 16 title reigns of Ric Flair, and he's going to be on top. And I can see that Triple H building up to a big main event for the title at a pay per view, and then Taker's the guy that costs him. Like every time Triple H gets close to something, Taker's the one guy that does it. So that he finally gets to it. He's like, fuck it. And around Rumble time, and he's like, I want Undertaker. I want him again. I took a streak, and I'll beat him again. I'm tired of him messing with me. And I think that's the build-up that we need to. We need to see the Taker come out against it's Triple H again next year. It'll be his 20th WrestleMania, which is still a big accomplishment. I'm sure by far, he'll be at the top of anybody that's ever competed at WrestleMania by that many. But I just don't see them, having him limp into WrestleMania as the one guy that nobody wants to touch next year. I think When I went to the SmackDown house show, he was advertised as one of the first shows back. And honestly, the match was a 2 against 5. It was the Core and Alberto Del Rio against the Big Show and Edge. And all we really got was, the dong of his theme song. The lights came on. Taker was standing on the ramp, and then the dong went off again, and he wasn't even there anymore. He had some steam rolling out from under the ring. Everybody thought that he was under there. So, basically, if you blinked, you didn't get to see The Undertaker. And I think a lot of fans out there, I don't think they would mind just the rush of seeing Undertaker at shows, whether it's Raws or SmackDowns. I'm not really sure if they put him on the road for house shows just for that. It'd be kind of a waste of a payday. But honestly, just that one more time of seeing Taker coming out against Triple H, I think that's what you need. I don't know any other way that you can build, a big storyline for him next year. Honestly, there's always new guys that come in, but there's nobody on the roster besides for Triple H, for Taker to fight that have that big draw feel. Nobody wants to see him fight Kane again. I would honestly would like to see, Taker and Kane sort of patch things up as the brothers. I'm not the biggest fan of them being a tag team. The two guys that big are sort of intimidating for anybody out there to go fight. It's hard to see that these, past former champions would be a tag team again, win the tag titles and have somebody out there legitimately beat them. But basically, that's what I would do at Undertaker. I think there's a lot of money in this WrestleMania with them headlining. But I think if you pass it on down to next year, I think that both of these guys could end their career on a high note and make a load of money.